little bit too. Eep. There we go.
There you go.
Yay. That's
There
better.
it is. That's the thing. Look at us. We're here. We're in the space. We made it.
Where am I?
We fit in the space. where am I? What am I
I fit
doing
in this
here?
space right here. Where's the wall? It's you can't get out.
I'm in a box. You're in a box. This is how it goes. We're out in a
It's a
box.
song. It's a song about a box.
There are songs about boxes. I know there are songs about boxes. There's like lots of songs about boxes. I can't think of any of them right now, but there are songs about boxes.
I can't either. I know that despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
Yeah, there's that one.
But
Or living in a box, living in a cardboard box. I know that one.
yeah,
And
there's
lots of pops and boxes. That is true.
yeah, there's a couple. You see a couple back there.
Yes, a couple.
I actually do have two more. I tweeted about them the other day
Uh-huh.
from the Winter Wonderland mystery box, which I already knew it was in it because they kind of told you. But let me see if I can get on the screen with them. I got May and Tracer in their holiday outfits.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Cute.
so they're in there. Yeah, they're very pretty cute stuff. And it also came with a stocking, and that's what's kind of on the corner. You can't really see it. It's the Funko Tracer,
Uh-huh.
and as a stocking, and then a like a Christmassy snowball keychain
Aw.
that all came with it. So not
Super
too
cute.
bad. The only thing that miffed me is that the day it came out, I pre-ordered it like 3 months ago, and the day after I got it, the price in the store went down by 30%.
Oh,
They put it
really?
on sale. Yeah, instead of $30, it was $20. And so I need to go into the store with my receipt and be like, I need $10 back, please. Because immediately, like, you charge me 30, and then when you release it, you cut the price down. That's not
Yeah, that's not cool. Like that's, the pre-order stuff is supposed to be there to kind of let them know how many people are going to be interested in getting some.
cool.
So,
Uh-huh.
charging those guys more and then some walk-in less is that's kind of poopy.
It is kind of poopy. I guess they want to sell as many as they can since, it's what is it, 19 days till Christmas?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a Christmas theme thing that came out on, the 4th or the 5th. So,
Huh.
we'll see.
Huh.
I did get the PlayStation Classic. I have not played it yet because that came out on Monday. But I'm looking forward to at least trying it and seeing how it is.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's see.
I saw
see
some
how it
people
goes.
putting it up on the internet talking about like how tiny it is, like it's super little,
It
and
is, yeah,
and that the cord is pretty short. So
yeah. Well, it's just a US. I think it's just a USB cord, so you could put a USB extender on it and you just extend it out.
gotcha.
So luckily, you can do that as opposed to you can find those anywhere, as opposed to the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo ones. You have to get the branded ones or
Yeah.
like the knockoff branded ones, which might be a little more expensive. USB is just USB. It's like that's whatever. Everybody's got that.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha. So I had a fun conversation this weekend with Brian Huff, who is my coworker with E-League or E-League Report, because he's a collector also, and so he collects Funko Pops, but he has to, like, so when he starts to collect one of them or like a certain line of them, he has to get them all within that brand. So if it was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I don't think he collects those, but I'm just using an example. He has to get all of them in the set in order for it to be complete. And so
he's a completionist, yeah.
yeah, and so I was actually running through that conversation that we had year or two ago with about the collector thing about, okay, so there's 4 things, dude, about why you collect, and gave him all the 4 of them, and I'm like, which one is it that drives you? And he's like, all 4.
Yeah. Because he's a completionist, it has to be all 4.
Yeah, and so it's like the thrill of the hunt, the completionist aspect of it, having to
Yeah.
have the full set, the notoriety or bragging rights of having the things that other people don't have, or the history of it. And those are the four things from that conversation. And
Gosh, yeah.
and
I I think all of them except for the notoriety. Like not notoriety, not so much for me, but the other three, yeah, definitely the thrill of the hunt, and the feeling of that dopamine hit of getting it.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
it's
I
so
do think
good.
there's a little bit of notoriety that you'd like about it to be able to say, well, I have this mount, of this
Yes,
one,
yeah.
where you can kind of pull that out and be admired for it.
Mm-hmm. There is
So
something about having the 400 mount out and just kind of walking around with it. So he's like, "Where'd you get that mount?" Like,
yeah,
well, I got 399 other ones. Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
There's a little notoriety that comes with that.
Yeah, a little bit. Plus, gnomes look good on cool rare mounts that not a lot of any people have. And shut your pie hole, Draven. I know, I know. Yeah, that one.
That one, the one that you don't have that he's gonna rub in your
And
face.
this is where I'd put my big love rocket if I had one. Next
and
year,
then
baby. Next year.
And then he gives you the heart and says, "Yes, it's
Yeah.
yours. Yes, I feel your pain."
I would feel worse if neither of us had gotten one yet. As many times as I know he runs it, and as many times as I'd run it, I am glad that at least one of us got it this past year, and
Yeah,
hopefully I'll get it this year. I need to keep leveling up tunes though, so I need to get back onto my troll mage and get him up because then I can farm for Warfront mounts all the time. Whenever the
yeah,
Alliance Warfront is up, I can get his, and then I can get when the Horde's up, I'll get my troll one.
yeah. So
So
you're just gonna go work and get all
yeah.
those get all those abilities to farm on all sides.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and then I'll need to get my paladin up to 120, and then my Tauren paladin up to 120. I don't know. I still need to do whatever it takes to get ready for it to unlock the Zandalari trolls because I want to race change my troll from Darkspear to Zandalari
mm-hmm.
so I can stand up.
1,314 confirmable attempts. That is insanity. That is
Well, you still beat
insanity.
the odds then, Draven, because I think it's like 1 in 5,000 or something like that is supposed to be that, or 1 in 2,000. So you beat the odds. Yeah, I just don't know, man. I'm gonna try. All I can do is try, and just hopefully it'll drop.
All right, sound test
As I say
time.
every year.
Our Borlocks get hungry too. It's cool down at the drive-thru.
Yes, it is.
It works. I always just wait for the head bob to know that I've got you, because yep,
Oh
just
yeah.
got you in there. Yup. God, the planes are loud
Let's
tonight.
see here.
Did I say loud airplane?
Why are you so loud, airplane?
That specific sounder is super loud. I know that one's loud. This one shouldn't be too bad. That one's normal.
So there's an article that says that GameStop is reportedly looking for a buyer to buy them out, and the first reply is, "I'll give them my old PS3, Madden 2009, and a used controller." Fair trade.
Trade.
Oh, jeez,
Trade.
that's funny.
Chat room is already
That is
prepared. They're prepared and ready. They're prepared and ready
They
for this
are
one.
ready.
I know. We just have to make sure Macron's ready.
Ah,
Wakey,
wake up and be
wakey,
ready.
eggs and bakey.
Da, da, da.
3.14159265359. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm always down for some pie.
I like pie too. Pie is good.
It's so tasty.
It's so yummy. All right. Okay, so I got this person on my may have to just mute this person because I get these things now where they tag like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 other people in a message saying like with an image like this one is, I wish you a season filled with joy, goodwill, laughter, and love. Merry Christmas. And now I'm probably going to get, I think I'm just going to have to mute this person. Replies. Yeah. I'm going to just mute you.
Thanks. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
We're just going to mute you. And if I have to force unfollow you, I will do it. Because no, I don't need my timeline filled up with a bunch of crap like this. No.
No, not like this.
Not like this. Not like this. Okay. Chat room is ready for poll. Marconin, are you ready for poll?
Yes.
All right. Tauren Think Tank episode 295 records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 295 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, December 6th, 2018, 8:10 p.m. is the local time in Central Time Zone, and my name is Jules Scott. With me, as always, is the gentleman with a little bit of a headbang going on, probably to keep himself awake because he's been working way too many hours. Poor guy. It's Marconin.
You almost made me yawn by saying I was tired. It's like my body was like, yes, you are tired. Go ahead and yawn right in front of all the lovely people listening and watching.
It's like if I speak it out loud, then it actually is going to happen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how it is.
The words bring it to life, and it was almost fulfilled, but I was able to shove the yawn down at least, hopefully for another hour or so, and that way we won't have to deal with all of this sleepy, silly nonsense that's been going on around here. Because we've been working pretty hard, from what I understand, both of us.
Yeah.
In our different ways, and oh man, holiday season, it is in overdrive. Lots of stuff happening at work. You know, nothing bad, but it long days, lots of days, and lots of holiday cheer. And by cheer, work is what I mean. So.
Yeah. So you're probably in the aftermath of Black Friday, and everybody had ordered a bunch of stuff to get installed before the holidays, right?
Yes, I am, and it's stuff that there's sales going on every week all across retail land, and every week there's a new hot deal, so everybody's got to get that cool thing, and they got to have me come out and put it together for them. So every week it's like, oh yeah, it's that thing. Oh yeah, it's this thing. Oh okay, I'm already familiar with it. Yep, it does this, it does that, and so it's a lot of running around and doing a lot of similar things. I've been mounting a whole lot of TVs lately, because that's our bread and butter. But there's a lot of good deals, so that makes it a lot easier for people to afford it and to afford us to go do it for them. So
yeah.
I'd rather they do that, because that way we can make sure it's done right, and that it won't fall off or anything. If your sister's friend Jimmy that lives across the block or something is like, oh, I can do that for you. He comes and does it, and like 2 weeks later it falls off the wall. It's like, sorry about that. I guess I didn't do it right. See you later. Bye.
Exactly.
And that's no good. I've not practiced that line at all. Not at all. It's like, that's why you need me. That's why I need a job. And I do my job so your TVs don't fall off the wall. So that's
right. That's right. And I've seen those fail videos on the internet about people who have like installed TVs outside of locking them into the studs and stuff. And I know I would be, if I were to buy a television large enough to mount on the wall, I would be, please, professional people, please do this for me, because I do not know what I'm doing. So thank you for your service, sir.
Yep. Well, everybody's, like I tell some of my clients, everybody's an expert in something, and seldom is it the same thing as me. So everybody's an expert in some field or another. Gosh, I have clients that are doctors, surgeons, high-ranking officials, politicians, all that stuff, and actors, all that stuff, and they don't know anything about what we do or even how to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because their expertise lies elsewhere, and it's kind of cool to see, how all the people in the world are programmed differently. So it's kind of neat. And
Sometimes
we
I
all
think
kind of
about like so I can't really watch like zombie movies or TV shows anymore because my stupid brain decides that that could actually happen someday and therefore it's too real. And so you kind of get that moment of thinking, okay, if we were in like say The Walking Dead where only a certain handful of people have actually survived to live and the expertise now for people has diminished to a very small handful, like how do you even rebuild? Like how do you even like these are the things that my brain thinks about when I'm like 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep and I'm like, why brain? Why? Why are
yeah,
you doing this?
that's why I can't really watch too many of those episodes back to back, because I'll do the same thing. I'll be walking down the street or driving down a road or something, and I'll get the theme song in my head and look at all these buildings that might be abandoned. I was like, man, how long could we survive against walkers in that building? Does it
Yeah.
have like a safe roof access? I don't know about that. Oh, it looks like the window's busted. I don't think that would work.
Yeah.
And you start to think about it and get in survival mode, and it's very creepy. So
I
that's
don't
why
like it.
I don't binge watch Walking Dead. I need to catch up on it, I think, but some people are saying it's like on its way down, something. I don't know. I'll have to reserve judgment until I see it, but that
I
may be
watched like
never.
the
I don't know.
first several seasons of Walking Dead and then it got to be too
Mhm.
much. It just got to be too much for me to handle. And then so like recently I was doing coverage for E-League Report and they released a new hero for Tekken 7 which is Negan from Walking Dead and they do
Oh, that's right.
yeah, and so they do this intro video with him with the big bat with the stuff with the barbed wire on the end, and apparently it's the exact same scene that they do from the show. And I was like, this is why I don't watch this show anymore. So, I mean, the stuff that I have to avoid to stop my brain from being stupid. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, anyway, we were talking about all the busy stuff that you've been going on, and I totally derailed us.
Oh no, you're fine. I mean, it's just been, it's been a crazy time of year, like it usually is. Extra days, extra shifts, just how you do. But on Sunday, or no, not Sunday, Monday, I went back home and I decorated my grandmother's Christmas tree in the house like I usually do, and that was really cool. At one point, I was doing something, and my granny called to me and called me into the kitchen, and she had her iPad running, just Pandora, Christmas music, and something. And I forget which song it was, but it was one of the like the slow bluesy Christmas songs. And she was like, I want my Christmas dance. And I was like, what? And she's like, come here. And she like grabs my arm. And so in the middle of the kitchen during the middle of the day, we just started slow dancing to the song. And
Oh,
it was very, very sweet. And I was like, absolutely, yes, I will dance with my granny. And it was one of those things that you get. And I love my grandmother and my parents and my family very, very much. I mean that clear over the years. I've been blessed to be very close to my family, and
mm-hmm.
those moments, especially with the oldest generation of my family is still with us. I slowed down everything. It's kind of like when we come to BlizzCon, sometimes we have to slow time down and really enjoy the moment.
Yeah,
And so I made sure to slow down and really take stock and really pay attention to everything,
yeah,
just so that I would have that big chunk of memory. And
yeah.
it works because at a family wedding a couple of years ago, I got to dance with her, and my mom actually recorded it, so she's got video. I've got video of that as well. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
I really liked doing that, and the decorations, I love putting them up, and I love doing that. We did a real tree again this year. It's been a few years since we've done that, so it was really easier to assemble because it was already assembled. It just was a
Yeah.
little tougher to bring it in the door and get it up there, but it was really cool. And then I decorated my and my wife's tree on Tuesday. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was, yeah, Tuesday night. And I need to buy some more lights because we didn't use as many lights this year, and so the top like quarter of the tree has no lights.
Oh
So
no.
it's just lights, 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 none. I got ornaments on it, so I was like, it's okay, it's close enough. So I need to go like to Walmart or something, buy like a little string of 50 lights or something. But
Yeah, I like it.
it's up there. Yeah, it is really cool. It's those things, like my Christmas traditions, that I have that help me cope with the harder parts of the holidays. I know we touched
Mm-hmm.
on this some last week, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's really stepping into high gear, and still happy, still enjoying it. I get to see people's holiday decorations, and it was kind of, well, I'll tell you this story. I went to a lady's house a couple weeks ago, and a part was broken in her TV, and she didn't have any kind of coverage, but we offered to order the part, and she would just pay us back for the part.
Right.
And so the part came in, and I did the installation. I noticed when I walked in, there was a menorah in her window, and her little mat said "Shalom" on it. And when I left, when I was leaving, she was like, "Well, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you." And I was like, "And Happy Hanukkah to you as well." And she kind of went, "Oh, well, thank you." She was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
And she was smiling, and she's like, "Well, thank you so much." I was like, "Yeah, I saw the menorah in the window," and so I got to talk to her about it a little bit, and I asked her what night it was or what day, because I know they measure the. She said they started on it's the night of, and then the next day is how they count it.
Yep.
So that was really cool to talk to her for a few minutes about that, and so yeah, it was really cool. And a lot of the people that I talk to when I'm there, they're very happy because we're doing something cool for them, and so that helps keep the positivity flowing in as the stress keeps sucking it out. So it's a nice little give and take there. But yeah, that's about it for me. The last week has just been lots of work and a lot of decorating, but I know somebody who has traveled more than I have in the last week. Mine was by wheels, yours was by wings,
by
so
air.
I guess Jules, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, by air and by breakneck Ubers. Holy crap, by the way. Atlanta, people driving in Atlanta and Uber drivers are insane on the highways. I kid you not. Like, I literally just had to keep talking to my coworker Brian just because I was afraid at like how this guy was weaving out of traffic. Like 2 different guys, the same thing.
Oh, goodness.
Woo! So last weekend I flew to Atlanta at 6:00 in the morning on Saturday to go to the E-League studios at Turner Studios in Atlanta to watch the E-League Cup, which was a Rocket League tournament. And so I went with my coworker Brian Huff, and we had quite an adventure. It was pretty fun. It was raining like insane amounts in Atlanta when we got there, so that was not fun. But but I got to see the behind the scenes of a whole big tournament, and it was pretty cool. And I was inside the studio, like Turner Studios. I was in there, and it was just like,
my goodness,
this is so wild. So I had a lot of fun. I hung out with their social media crew and watched them work as the games were going on and how they were capturing stuff and tweeting and putting it on social media, Instagram and Facebook, and just great. Totally fun.
Wow.
But then I came home on Sunday night, and then we had booked our flight, or Brian had booked our flight so that it would be late in the evening in case the tournament went long. And so my flight didn't leave until like 10:30. Turns out the tournament ended at like 5:30. So we were like, all right, tons of time to kill. So we wound up going to the airport early, had some dinner. Brian has like diamond status because he flies for work, all his regular job all the time. And so we were hanging out in the Delta Lounge. It was pretty sweet. Like, I was just like, this is pretty slick. And then we're headed home. And I'm headed home. He was going back to Columbus, Ohio. I was going back to Minneapolis. And now, again, this flight is leaving at like 10:20. And I had an experience on this flight home that just unnerved the hell out of me. It's a little easier for me to talk about it now than it was then, because I was really freaked out for about good 24 hours after it happened. So I'll tell you and you guys what happened. So I get the plane is late coming in from its destination previous, and so they're kind of urging everybody to like make sure your roller bags are checked because we want to board fast. The flight is full, blah blah blah. Well, everybody who's got roller bags doesn't want to give them up, and so the flight boarding process was super slow, and kind of that plotting, like the line from the jetway goes all the way back up and outside, that kind of plotting thing. Ugh. So, and again, it's late. We're all tired. It's Sunday, whatever. So I finally get to my seat, which is a window seat in an exit row, but it's one of the weird exit rows where there's an aisle behind me. So there's not like the space in front where my legs are. There's the aisle behind me where the door is. So
okay.
So I've got like this little, like my seat has kind of lost a couple of inches because there's this bump out where the door is. And so my seat is a little tighter than everybody else's. I think our whole row was. And so I was in my seat. There was a woman on the aisle, like an older lady. She was probably in her late 50s, early 60s. Very nice lady. And we're waiting there. The line is still long, and I start seeing the end of it coming in finally, but we're past time to leave already. And probably about 10 rows up, I see this man he's a very muscled out dude wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and I can see that his arms and legs are completely tattooed. And he is furious. He is having like a yelling meltdown, and I don't know what he's yelling about. And I'm just like, oh man. And he walks past where I'm sitting. He's trying to find a space for his bag, and he can't find anything. And he comes back to our aisle, barks at the woman at the aisle and says, I'm in the middle. So she gets up. This means that he is sitting next to me this aisle. She gets up, and he has a bag in his hand, like a laptop bag, and he sidearms it with rage into the seat. Wham! And it hits me in the leg. Like, it was like a rageful, like, slammed it down. Boom! And I was just like, I was freaked out. Like, holy crap. Like, what is going on? This guy was in a rage. And so he sits down, and everything about him is aggressive. He's just angry. I can feel the anger coming off of this man. And he pretty much sat down, and that we push back. And they start the announcement for the flight starting to like, thank you so much for flying Delta. And he goes, yeah, right.
Oh boy, that guy.
Yeah. And so this flight attendant walks right up to our aisle and gives him like the hairy eyeball. And she says, we're not going to have any problems, are we? And he starts arguing with her. You know, I didn't do anything. I just, and I was just like, oh God, like, can we just not do this? And she just stood her ground, and she was like, we're not going to have a problem here, right? And he just, and just sat there. And so as soon as we get up in the air, he takes his tray table and slams it down. Like, the poor woman who was in front of him, like, he shook her seat. And like I said, everything about this man was aggressive. He was just so aggressive. And at one point, there was a flight attendant that came behind me because there was an aisle behind me. She tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned, and she just mouthed to me, are you okay? Yeah. And I was not. I was like, this guy is scary. I am not happy. I am not feeling very comfortable. And she just kind of whispers to me. She's like, I can move you, but the entire flight is full. And now I know that if I make this guy move, it's going to cause a scene. And I do not want to cause a scene. I just want to get home. So I just shook my head to her, and he then realizes that she's behind me and starts like, what? And I'm just like, oh, okay, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. So he gets mad again to realize that the seat does not recline because we're in an exit row. And gets mad again at the screen because he wants to turn his screen off. And every time, it's a motion sensed screen. So every time you pass your hand in front of the screen, even though if you turn it off, it comes back on because it thinks you want it.
No.
So what he had done is he had flipped his tray table down and put his hands, like his elbows on the tray and his face in his hands, but he kept putting his head up on the screen and it kept turning on. So he starts swearing every time the screen turns on. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're an idiot and you're mad and I don't know what's going to happen. So 2-hour flight and kind of went by without incident, but I was terrified the whole time. I was just terrified.
Yeah.
Like, what is it going to set this guy off again? And we land, and he's like, he wants out of his seat, and the lady on the aisle like got up and let him out because he wanted to go back and get his bag. She gives me a look, and I give her a look, and I just mouthed to her, are you okay? And she just nodded like, yeah, but oh my God. And so as we're like 25 rows back, so we have to wait for everybody to plot off the plane, and I'm about to step out into the aisle. He's behind the seats, and I'm about to step out, and all of a sudden he swings his hand up to the baggage thing, slams it up, and I was just like, and I looked at him, and I went, go. And he was like, I was trying to get it out of your way, and I just looked at him like, you are just you are not okay. Like, you are
Yeah.
not all right. And so I told a couple people about this, and they're like, do you think that was roid rage? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know what roid rage looks like, but this guy was scary. And I was rattled and shaken for a good day and a half after that, because when you know about me and you know that I feel how people are feeling in a room, and then you've got someone with a bout of rage coming off of them, like this guy, like he was a mad MFer. Like, he was really, really, really mad. And oh my God. So I was so glad to be off that plane. You have no idea.
Oh boy.
I sent Delta a thank you letter to say thank you for the flight attendants who actually like made sure that he was not going to cause any problems, because that could have been so much worse, dude.
It could have been. I almost wish he'd have caused more of a tantrum at the beginning, so they would have thrown him off the plane before you left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what that would have been like in terms of like getting him off the plane or arresting him. God, I think they just wanted to get us home, but so it was awful.
Well, and being pinned between, it's like Royd guy and then 30,000 feet on the other side of you, since you got the window seat, right?
Yeah, I was on the
Like,
window.
You had nowhere to move, and I'd feel so nervous and trapped.
Yes, I was very much feeling like that, because every movement that he made was so aggressive. Like, even just the touch screen, he would take his finger and he would thwack it. It's all the way I can think of, is he would just thwack the screen. Everything about him was aggressive, and it was just this like, I don't know what I'm dealing with. I don't know. And my defense mechanism was don't make eye contact. And of course, now our seats are even tighter than the plane that I took to go out there. So we're even closer. And he kept like shifting around and like, and I'm just like, dude, I can't get myself any smaller in the seat. Like, seriously, I'm trying my best, but I cannot. It's just, oh, dude.
Oh, man.
Just awful.
Well,
so that was my
survived.
Yes, I did. And that was an adventure in itself, but I had a great time at E-League and had a great time talking about it on the show on Tuesday. So yeah, just good stuff. So
good.
Yes. So that's my shared story. Excuse me, for the week. And boy, that was a tough one. But we have a discussion topic to hit up, and it is a listener submitted one too. I forgot about that. So
it is.
You wanna dig in? Let's get our shovels and dig. Let's do it.
I think we should.
All right, this one.
Let's kick around some ideas, not gnomes.
Yeah, it's a listener submitted. I can do this. Listener submitted discussion topic is where my brain was trying to get that out, from RJ Sketch. And we had this submitted to us through our Discord, which is awesome. Thank you so much, RJ. The topic at hand this week, he says, as a sufferer of anxiety, I realize that sometimes we unwittingly engage in behaviors that are intended to protect us, but actually only set us up to do more harm in the long run. How does one recognize when you are unwittingly self-sabotaging yourself?
That's a good one.
Yes.
Because I know I'm guilty of stuff like this all the time.
I really can't think of a person that's not guilty of this at some point in their lives, now or anytime. Like, we've all done it. We all do it. We are probably doing it in certain ways now.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest one I can think of, I'll blow this one wide open because I know we've talked about this before and I know we'll both agree on it, is my diet, my food intake. Because that is something that, as I've learned and it continue to learn over time, is that my relationship with food is not healthy, and it's very highly tied to my emotional state. So there's a lot that you can do, like to say, oh yeah, I'm going on a diet. Like, I've gone on a bazillion diets, all different kinds of diets. And eventually, inevitably, I will sabotage that because I will say, well, I'm feeling this way or I'm not feeling this way. And then I will use my food intake or whatever food I want to try to quell whatever emotions I need to deal with instead of the hard work that I'd put in to like lose that weight or stop eating that food or all that stuff.
Yep. I know exactly how you mean. Like there's some days where, I don't really like go get a beer or go get alcohol at the end of a hard day. It's like I need some caffeine or like a candy bar. Like I have like today, I finished a very long day in which I didn't really eat. I had breakfast this morning, but I was running around all day and didn't have time to stop and eat. So when I left the store, I grabbed a candy bar. I was like, okay, I haven't eaten much today, and I deserve this. Like I need this.
Yeah.
Incorrectly saying that I needed that when I didn't really need it.
Yeah.
I didn't really need that at all. I could have just waited till I got home to eat something better, and which I did, right before the show. But there's some days like, oh man, that's been a rough day. I could use a Mountain Dew to get through the rest of this day instead of like a diet Mountain Dew or something different. Or how about that bottle of water in your truck? You
Yeah.
could drink that instead. Like, yeah, but that's not as tasty. And I need tasty stuff right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because
But yeah,
it is
it's easy to do that.
it's very easy to do that. And the kind of the difference that you indicated in the beginning is like you don't reach for, say, the beer, or if you are a drug user, you wouldn't reach for the drugs or that kind of thing. But in essence, it's kind of the same thing because in a lot of ways. And the problem with people, a lot of us who have food, emotional food issues, is that we need food to survive. Like I can't just quit food. I mean, I literally cannot quit food. when if you have a substance abuse problem, the way to fix that is to quit the substance. No more. You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't take drugs, you don't whatever. And now when it talks about the food thing, and that's always stuck with me in life, was whenever I've talked about the issues that I've had with food, it's like, yeah, well, you can't quit food. It's like, yep. It's true. Like we need it to survive.
Well, I could convert to breatharianism. Just be like a plant. Just needs air and sunlight, and I can just live off that.
Well, and they allow water too, right? Because plants drink water.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got what plants crave. Oh boy.
Well, and RJ just clarified in the chat room, I was thinking that how I was a doormat, like I'd fear how people would treat me if I stood up for myself, but I found out that not standing up for myself created a lot of problems down the line. And I think that's a good clarification. To what your topic was. I mean, I kind of automatically went to, well, what ways do I sabotage myself? That's most definitely the and so like the incident that I just talked about, the aggressive man. In hindsight, and I've told this story to my dad and a couple other people, and the automatic response is, number one, like, well, why didn't you move? People have asked me that, like, why didn't you move? And my rationalization is because I was scared. And I didn't want to cause a bigger commotion about the situation and to leave. And that makes me feel like I feel badly that I didn't, like, I don't know if this is self-sabotaging, but like I don't stand up for myself in the moment. I'll like go into the scenario afterwards and saying, I should have said this, I should have said that, I should have, I wish I had done this, done that. So like, I don't know how to like break out of that. Like, in that, maybe that's more of an example of fight or flight. I always feel like that's something I need to work on though.
Yeah, and context is important because when you're in something like the airline, in that specific situation, it's better to keep quiet and let, and I mean, at least for me, like I would have done the same thing you did. I would have just tried to get through it and not let him, not be an extra aggressor, because I already knew how aggressive he was, and he was not willing to listen to reason
Yeah.
at that point. So it would have done me no good, nor anybody else on the plane, if I had have tried to stand up to him, because then I would be on TMZ the next day, or on any number of YouTube channels where people get into fist fights in public spaces. So
And Colin just said someone else would have had to move next to Angry Dude, and I said exactly like that.
true.
That
Yeah.
was exactly my thinking. This plane is full, which means that someone else is going to lose their seat and have to sit next to this aggressive man. And I can't bring myself to do that. And maybe that makes me someone who is, I wasn't trying to be a martyr about it. It was just more of like, I just didn't want to inflict that on somebody else. But then I allowed myself to be inflicted upon because I had to stay there. And so that was a tough one. It was like, am I sabotaging my own safety because I am not willing to do this to somebody else? I don't know if that's self-sabotage, but I'm kind of digging around on this one a little bit, because mainly when I think of self-sabotage, I'm just like, I think about the things that I will do to undo the hard work that I've done previously to something, or that I'm trying to fix something and then I just inadvertently destroy it by doing the same thing I used to do.
Yeah, and in that case, you'd already been dealing with him enough already, and you didn't want to inflict that on anybody else.
Yeah, no.
You're just like, this is a fate I do not wish on anybody else.
Yeah.
So you didn't want to like stick just, like you swap and there's just some like old granny there, sitting there, and he starts getting mad at her. Like, you wouldn't want to put her through that. It's like, look, I'm already here. I just want to get through this flight. It's only about an hour or two left, and then he will leave and everything will be okay. Just need to get through it.
Yeah, like he'll never enter my life again. It'll just be this moment in time. But it is I don't know if that's a character flaw of me to not like stand up for myself and say, no, I don't feel comfortable and therefore I want to leave, because I viewed it as that would be very selfish for me to make someone else have to do this. And
you were considerate of others.
Yeah, because I didn't want, like, if the plane had a lot of extra seats, I would have had no problem with it. Like, literally just put me someplace else. But I knew that the plane was full, and so it wasn't going to be that easy. There's a feeling that I have when it comes to self-sabotage. And the main thing I think about is that you have to have at least the ability to make yourself aware that you're doing it. Like you just said earlier, talking about the Mountain Dew thing, where you're saying, yes, that you could drink a Diet Mountain Dew or a water, or wait till you got home, I think were the examples that you said.
Yeah.
And then it's a question of saying, nah, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it right now. Yeah. And that happens to me way too many times where I'm just like, do I cook dinner tonight or do I get takeout? And when that question usually comes up, the takeout wins about 95% of the time.
Oh, yeah. Like slave over a hot stove, or have someone else do that and I pay them and then they bring it to me. So all I have to do is click place order.
Yeah, because
that's tempting.
Because what I'll do is usually like I'll cook for like the first like 4 or 5 days of the week, and when that question of do I do cook or takeout is like I've gotten tired of the cooking part, and so and so I have gotten myself to the point where I was like, well, you did so good in the early part of the week, you deserve this, and it's not.
Yep.
And I know that I'm doing it. Like I literally actually am aware that I am doing it, and then I just do it anyway, knowing that the takeout is going to be so much worse for me in terms of weight loss. And full disclosure, like I'm working on this specific issue in therapy. I'm working on it because there's very specific things that are tied to it that are causing me to do those actions. And so like we are working on this very much so in therapy. And it's hard. I get done with a therapy session and I feel like I've been beaten by a big old Nerf bat for about an hour because it just takes it all out of me. And then I'm just like, oh man, like that thing that you've been pushing away and just pretending that it doesn't exist. It's like right there. Hi, right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta deal
I'm
with
right
that.
there waiting for you.
Yeah, and it's not Richard Marx. It's just there. It's the thing that's waiting for you. I might be dating myself with the Richard Marx joke. I'm sorry.
I got it. You're fine.
Okay. All right. Uh, from you're younger, you probably don't know what I was talking about. There's a song by Richard Marx that was right there waiting. There you go.
Yep.
But I think about the things that I do. Some people do this with sleep too. Like I've seen this a lot of people with their sleep schedules be like, and I don't have this problem. Like I never have this problem, but I see so many people that do where they're just like, I'll just watch one more episode, or I'll play one more round, or I'll do one more game. And then it's 3 a.m. and they've just destroyed their sleep schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just like, it's only 10 more minutes. I mean, what extra sleep could I get done in 10 more minutes? I'll be fine.
I don't have that problem. I don't, because I'm like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Like I just do it.
Yeah. Well, and if I can just lay down, even if I want to like play on my phone, it never lasts very long. Like it's maybe 10 minutes and I'm out.
Yeah.
Even I'm trying to stay awake. Like, oh no, you need to find something out about something on the internet, and then just I'm out.
You're out.
Sometimes I'll wake up like an hour later and my hand is still on the phone, so the phone is still on. Like it's still awake.
Have you like hit yourself in the face with the phone?
No, I don't like hit it. I lay on my side and just have it like resting on the resting right by my pillow. It's just right here.
It's right there. Yeah, I mean, because I can't do that. So if I were ever to do that, I've seen people do this too, where it like lands on their face because they were literally handed up above their face and then it falls on their face. No. Yeah, no. No, I don't have that. Like when it's time for me to go to bed, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. I've always had that thing where I'm just like, if I'm tired, I'm sleeping. And, but I know that that's a self-sabotage things that people do where it's just like, oh, just one more, or I could just watch one more episode and it won't be too bad, or one more chapter of that book, or, Yep.
Oh yeah. We are quick and easy to justify, decisions that we want to happen, even though we know we better not.
Right.
You know, we're quick to justify it, and I think that goes for a lot of things. And sometimes, and see, I don't know how RJ thinks about the doormat, because for me, sometimes I do let people walk all over me, but that's because the alternative is more conflict and stuff, and so I would just rather them just like get over, just kind of like something akin to the flight. It's just like, let's get it over with. I don't have to deal with it anymore. I don't care that much. I don't need to, the risk of stress and the other risks from it are not worth the payoff of me feeling better about myself, or not, that's kind of, I don't know. That's kind of how my brain works that one out, because I'd rather just get over with it. It's not that big a deal to me, even though a lot of people may say, oh, well, no, it is a big deal. You need to think about this. Like, well, it's whatever. I don't really care that much.
Yeah, it's a matter of whether or not you have a situation of you are feeling badly about yourself and the behaviors that you're exhibiting, and the example of something coming up that would give you the opportunity to change that behavior. Like, so I'm trying to think about another thing that isn't food related. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Have you had dinner yet? Because we may be hungry. That's why
I know we talk about food.
I just ate, but yeah.
Yeah, I had dinner earlier, but I am still hungry. Okay, so I'm not calling you out here. I'm just going to use this as an example, as if this were something that you wanted to do. Okay, I'm not calling you out. I'm saying this right now. But let's say that you wanted to stop collecting Funko Pops. Okay, let's use this as an. I know you're you're out.
I'm leaving. No, it's not true. It can't happen.
Let's say that's your example, like, because we were talking about it before the show. So let's say that this is your example, is I want to stop collecting Funko Pops, and you have an opportunity that shows up. Someone, like, you've got your friends out there who know you collect Funko Pops, and they go, Mark Honan, hey, did you see this one that will, fill your, like, he's just coming up with the camera. Did you see this one that was something that I know you're going to like, and you've said, I am cold turkey quitting Funko Pops, no more. And this person goes, but Mark Conan, it's okay. Like, this is just the one, because you know you want this one. And it's the only time you're going to get it right now. And you say,
well, I mean, it is from my favorite movie, one that I've been hoping they would make for a long time.
Well, you said cold turkey.
But
no
it's
more.
It's that one. Like, I've been asking for this one for years, and they finally decided to make it, and it's only super exclusive. It would, if this hypothetical situation were going to happen, it would be the one that I've always wanted, that they never made, that they will make 200 of or whatever. And so it would hit all of my collector senses, and it would be near murderous for me to not want to get the thing, even though I wanted to quit cold turkey. And like Bim said in the chat, hashtag the struggle is real.
Yeah.
It would be so hard. That's why I hope they make a Johnny 5 one from Short Circuit, because that's the one I want so bad. Every time I can ask them, yes, is that one. So if they did that, man, it would be so stinking hard. I would have to have, it's almost like we're on like borderline addiction level stuff. You know, you would have to have those same coping mechanisms and support structure. If that were the case for me anyway, you would need somebody to hold you accountable for it. And so on these things where we self-sabotage, it's kind of close to that, because as long as you're aware of the behavior that you're putting yourself in order to self-sabotage, you would need to share that with other people who could then help you in supporting changing that about yourself.
Yes, because you have to recognize what it is about the behavior that you want to go away. So let's say in Mark Conan's example that I used for you, like, you've decided that you are saving money for something else, and that is a crucial thing that must be saved money for. You do not have the budget for Funko Pops any longer because it would sabotage the budget that you were putting towards the other thing that you were saving money for. And so that would be like recognizing the reason why you want to change the behavior. In the food example, it's like, hey, I want to be healthier and lose weight. And then when you don't do the things that you're supposed to do, you're either going to gain weight or not lose it. And then you have the same cycle going on. So in recognizing that there's a need for something to change is going to be the first part of it, number one. And then you've got the accountability side that you were talking about before, which is somebody to hold you accountable, or like, take my credit card away so I don't spend money on it, or make sure I don't have access to my debit card or something, if you want to go to that extreme thing.
You just walk in and you've got, like, you're covered in Funkos. It's like, Mark Conan, what's that? Nothing.
It's like a
Funkopox.
Funkopox. Funkopox. You have Funkopox.
Oh, I have Funkopox. I'm so sorry. Oh, man. That's funny. I dig that. Oh, hashtag Funkopox.
Hashtag Funkopox.
I have a very large infection behind me.
It's spreading too.
Quite substantial. Is it contagious? Lord, I hope not.
Yeah. Honestly, my examples of things and the ways to fix it, I don't really have all the answers to this or the strongest advice, except to say that I'm working on it for myself and doing it through therapy, which is like the thing that we've talked about numerous times on the show, is how important that can be for you to, number one, recognize the source of your behaviors, and number two, help you resolve the issues that are causing the behavior.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to recognize what you want to get out of changing that behavior. Like, what is your end goal? Why are you wanting to not be a doormat anymore? Is it for personal reasons? Is it for relationship reasons, or how you want to be seen by others? What is the importance of changing that? Just like, for instance, me wanting to say I'm doing a cruise next summer and I'm saving money for it. That's why I haven't really gone out and bought as many Funkos as I have.
Mm-hmm.
I try to save that money back. So I do have that, I'm not going to quit cold turkey. I can't do that. Sorry. But I'm taking steps to budget and do both, in a reasonable way. So you've got to recognize why it is that you want to make that change. What's the driving force behind it? Why do you want to do it in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly write it down, have some reminders, when the situation comes again, remember in your mind or written down somewhere, like, I am doing this because of this, and that will help reinforce it. That's, if, say, for instance, I had a bunch of Mountain Dews in the fridge, I could put a note on it saying, not too many because you want to lose weight, or something, some kind of reminder to
Mm-hmm.
refresh in my brain, bring it back to the forefront, and try to battle back the idea that it's like, oh, I've had a long day, I deserve this. Like, well, everybody has a hard day, everybody has a bad day.
Yeah.
Do you need one bad enough for that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You need some kind of cues to kind of keep reinforcing yourself, as well as having others to help keep you in line with what you want to do, what you want to change. Because it's easy enough to say, like, I want to do this. So much harder to actually follow through and reinforce that change in behavior for
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
So
So I
true.
think those are all good steps for that, And I
Yeah.
don't think you're a doormat, RJ. I think you're a pretty awesome guy.
Well, and what RJ has said in the past is that this is something that he's worked really hard on changing about himself,
Yeah.
and knowing that this was a behavior that was destructive to him and causing him pain and stress. And that is the number one step in most things, is recognizing the root cause of something and realizing that it is a problem, and stating that for a fact, because
Yeah.
we're really good at deflecting and just putting ourselves in a position where we're just like, oh, that's not really a problem, it's not really an issue. I kind of like equate it to, like, I've talked about this before, like the pile of boxes that end up in the like the corner of your living room when you're when
yeah.
you've gotten a bunch
Or
of
over
Amazon
there.
shipments, yeah, and then you're just like, oh, it's not there, it doesn't exist, it's not there, because I just
No.
walked past it 100 times and I don't see it anymore. Well, that's you in a lot of ways. And sometimes things that are going on in your brain is that pile of Amazon boxes sitting in the corner that you've not broken down or taken to the recycling, because you've just pretended that it's not there.
I'm a pile of boxes.
Do
That's
you
some deep
ever feel...
philosophical stuff. That's
Yeah.
some stuff right there. What's in the
Do
box?
you ever feel like a cardboard box? I know that's not the line.
Just sitting there in the living room.
Is the corner of my futon in my living room, and they're just like, the box pile is relatively big now, and I need to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't.
Yeah. I went through mine last like almost 2 weeks ago, and flattened them all, because I
Yeah.
do reuse them if I sell stuff on eBay and such. So I
Yeah.
flatten them all, and that way they took up a lot less space. So it looks a little bit better over there, thankfully.
Good.
So I did take the time. I did go through those boxes.
Yeah.
It
I
took
mean,
a while.
eventually,
It took a long time.
Eventually they get so overwhelming that you've got to do something about them, right? Like, it's necessary for you to do it. And that's the analogy that I'm going to use for whatever it is that might be causing you pain or stress or strife in your life, is that sometimes it just gets too big and you can't pretend that it's not there anymore. And that's when you need to deal with it. And the recognition that the box pile is there is going to be one of the biggest things that you'll do in the process, because you've spent so long ignoring it and saying,
Yeah.
that box pile is not there. It's just not there. It doesn't need to be dealt with. It's fine.
Yeah.
We all have a box pile. We all do. And we probably have numerous ones of them, or at least several. So you're not alone. You are not somebody who is weird or whacked out or broken because you feel like you've just, oh my gosh, you just called me out on the show, Jules and Marconin. Like, no, we didn't. You were all the same.
We called ourselves out too. So
Yes, we did.
you are in good company with most people, because there's bound to be something, there's always something that we do in those situations that you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with it, but you end up hurting yourself in the long run. So it's always good to recognize it and do what you can to rise above it, because yeah, it's good in some instances to just, like, kind of on the plane, just sit down, just try to get through it. Don't provoke, don't do anything. But in other situations, You know, you really got to really got to show, kind of overcome why you are feeling this way, why you are. It's one thing to kind of, like, just let it go because it's not worth it. But sometimes you do have to stand up for yourself and say, hey, no, look, give me, you are going to listen to me about this because what you're doing is not right. What you're doing is not this. And you really just have to put your foot down. And, it's like, I feel like you're walking all over me. You need to stop. Now you know. And we're going to get past this. But you're walking all over me right now. Don't do it again.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of lay it down right then and there, so at least they know and you can move forward.
Yeah, I will clarify that in a situation like that, like when you've kind of gotten to the point where you feel like you can't take it anymore, and confronting somebody about that behavior, is going to be a delicate matter, because you've got to be able to express like how their actions make you feel. And so when you do this, I feel this is the best method of that. And then making sure that they have the awareness of it. Because a lot of times, like, I know for sure and for a fact that a lot of people just lack awareness of how they act, how it affects other people. And sometimes 100%. It is, and so sometimes it literally is just a complete, like, naive lack of awareness. Like, I just didn't even think about it that way. Or, not intentionally mean or something of that nature. It just meant to be, like, I did this and this person got offended by it. And then, I mean, that's happened to me a ton of times where, like, somebody misinterprets something that I said or did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally did not mean to do that way. And that something, thank you for telling me about it so that I can not do that to you again. So, yes. But, now it's a pile of Funkopox boxes. We're getting Funkopox boxes in the chat from Colin.
If I ever have a band, I'll name it the Funkopox.
Well, now you just have your next Halloween costume.
Yeah, that's right.
You got the Funkopox.
Yeah, I just need the really big head and the really big old black eyes and just a bunch of little dots on there.
Get a bunch of cheapo ones and just like a black outfit and just like glue them onto your outfit and the boxes.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, I have the Funkopox.
Yeah. Sorry, Funkopox. Oh, that's fantastic. I may just have to do that next year. Oh boy, that's awesome.
And with that, I think that we will bring this discussion to a close. Thank you so much, RJ Sketch, for your submissions. For your submission to this episode, and we have room for four more to come. This is 295, so we have 4 more episodes before 300. And you guys can be a part of that by sending your questions or topics for discussion to questions@torrentThinkTank.com.
You better do it. Like, you've got it. It's like shipping a package before Christmas. You've only got a couple weeks left. Like, yep. I mean, and you don't have to deal with like international shipping or anything like that. It's instantaneous.
Yeah.
So like, as soon as your finger leaves the mouse or the touchpad, whatever, it's already halfway here.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely
send it, please.
Please do.
We want to talk about it. We want to help me help you.
So what's going on for the next 7 days? What's happening? Because I think that is in fact a show that we have produced, so we get to talk about the stuff for the next week.
I would believe so. I would have to concur that we have come back to this place and this time and this situation on these computers.
Yeah.
On this internet, on this planet, and have conducted a really cool thing, something that hundreds of years ago, heck, 50 years ago, people would not have imagined that we could do this. Well, probably 50, but not less. 200 years ago? No way. George Washington, if we went up to and told him, like, hey, we're going to have somebody from Arkansas and Minnesota talk, and then, like, dozens of people from all over the world we're going to listen in, they're going to be like, you're a witch. No. I'm going to tell you that with my wooden teeth. And then we tell you, no, it's not magic. It's nothing. We call this in the 21st century, we call it a show. And I would have to agree.
Yes. Thank you for agreeing. So now, wow. So now what is going on with you for the next 7 days?
A whole lot of work. I have Sunday off, and that's it.
Okay.
Then I'm on for another 6-day work week. Things are in full steam ahead for the holidays. Other than that, I mean, things are going well. In my free time, I haven't really been playing a lot of WoW, just because I sometimes around this time of year, with just it getting dark so soon, I just feel like blah, and I've just been really kind of spending. I've been hanging out and watching more YouTube stuff with my wife, and just kind of the animals, just really kind of relaxing, because I'm always, I'm performing the entire time I'm at work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always get on the phone and I'm talking to clients, and I am very very, very animated, very nice, very smiling, all that stuff. And then I get done and like, oh, okay. I need to frown for a second because my face hurts. And I just want to unwind. So that's usually what I do, is just try and relax a little bit. So probably doing a lot of relaxing over the next week when I'm not at work, which is not very often these days, but won't be bad. Just another week on this awesome life I've got. So I'm looking forward to it. Not anything else podcast wise going on this week, but yeah, just kind of hanging out. What about you, Jules?
So it'll be just more stuff. Let me give you a couple things to listen to if you need more stuff to listen to, stuff that I have made recently. The latest episode of the Heroes News with Jules Scott is an interview with content creator Starby, and it is hilarious. Ooh. She has like the most infectious laugh that you have ever heard, and it was awesome. one of the most unique interviews that I had ever done, because she we did the interview and she kind of a little nervous when we did the interview to begin with. Like, she's super charismatic and stuff, and as soon as she knew I was recording, she kind of froze up a little bit and got a little nervous. And then after I turned the recording off, she was just like, oh my God, I wish I'd said this, and I wish I'd said this, and I wish I'd said this, and she just kept talking. So I'm like, I'm turning the recording back on because you're giving me all this great stuff, and I did. And then I just added it on to the end. I told her
awesome.
She knew, because she was like, oh, my brain just like froze up and stuff. And so it was very unique and very funny. And the other one is my new project with Heroes Hearth called the Jules and Coffee Hour, which is... Mm-hmm. It's storytelling. We are telling stories about a topic that we pick every week. And so this week was, what makes you different from other people? Like, what makes people kind of go, oh, wow, that's different, when they know this about you. And the show is totally fun. It's got like flavors of what we do with Triple T, but it's different aspect of it because it's focused around the storytelling. It's not about the advice. Mm-hmm. It's about telling the experiences of our lives. And it's called the Jules and Coffee Hour, and you can find it on all the podcast stuff and on YouTube, because we record it live. It's youtube.com/heroeshearth. Tons and tons of fun to do that show. So yeah, just wanted to give some plugs for stuff that I'm working on. I have another episode of that show on Monday, and another episode of Heroes News on Thursday of next week. I don't know I have like 4 people that I'm about to interview at the same time, and so I don't know like who's going to be next. So, because I'm trying to like stock. Yeah, well, I'm trying to stockpile them before the holidays, before everybody gets like crazy busy. So I'm getting like 4 of them done in a short amount of time. So we'll see who comes up next. But yeah, there you go. And
sweet.
Yes, so I think will do it for everything that we did tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. And mm-hmm. I think we're going to bring the show to a close like we always do, which it goes something like this. Tauren Think Tank is supported by you, our fans. Thank you to each and every one of you who supports us every month on Patreon. If you'd like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/Tauren Think Tank for a short while longer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and at freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website. That's taurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and how to get in touch with us as well.
If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, and it's going to stay after the show ends as well, you can join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
just about the coolest place on that there internet for you to hang out, so you better do it, all right? If you're not on Discord, but you all want to do other social media, you can go onto Facebook and get us at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can also find us on Twitter at TaurenThinkTank for the show, at JulesRPG for Jules, and at MarkConanWow for myself. And if you'd like to score some sweet Triple T merchandise while we still have it up, you know you want to for posterity and as a collector's item, I guarantee you, you can go to TaurenThinkTank.com/store and check it out.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can be a part of the live chat room shenanigans on our video stream, which is twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. And we love seeing you here with us, and we thank you for the downloads that you give us every week. Mark Honan?
Jules?
Get some good rest, and, don't make any TVs fall off walls, okay?
Well, I'll try not to, and I'll try to keep this Funkopox in check, and try not to cross any roided out airplane dwellers this week.
You got it. I'm down with that noise for sure.
Oh man,
Never
I had an
again.
aggressive, muscly guy at work this week too. He was kind of similar. He was very aggressive, but I stood my ground, and he relented.
Good. I wish I could have said the same.
That's all right.
We'll be back next Thursday at our normal time at 8 o'clock Central, so we'll see you then. For myself, for Mark Honan, for the entire chat room, until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo. Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
There we go.
It's a show, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see what RJ said for this one. It's because I couldn't read it while we were talking. Ah, yes. I think that's kind of what I was hoping to get across. So thank you. I'm glad that I did.
Yep.
I'm glad that I conveyed that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hot deal.
Good.
Mark Honan mounts TVs, giggity.
Eh.
Y'all TVs stuff off the wall. Dance with your grandma. Roids on a plane. Roids on a plane.
Can't quit food.
Food. The aggressive man. I do think it has to be Funkopox. I do think that's probably the name of the show.
Yeah.
There's no way around that.
Yeah.
That's all right. There we go. Thanks, Draven, for your show
Yes,
titles.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, as always, for your show title compilation. It is very much appreciated.
Very much appreciated.
Very much appreciated. Oh, I've got like stuff in my glasses. Oh, it's eyelashes. It's like I can't see.
Eyelashes
through my
on your glasses.
I can't see.
Lashes, glasses.
Lashes, glasses. Oh my goodness.
Ugh. Excuse me.
I know. It's time for you to go to sleep, I think.
Yeah, it's good about that time here in a little
Mhm.
while.
Thanks, Draven, for staying
Yes,
late.
thank
Go
you,
enjoy.
sir.
Go enjoy Critical Role.
Enjoy your evening, buddy.
I'm betting that's where he's going at least. So.
Yeah.
Oh my
Ugh.
goodness. Yeah. It's gonna be a good it's gonna be a good night's sleep. Garrus has been so good in his little bed. He's just not moved the whole time.
Aw.
He's been a good boy, which means I'm gonna get attacked, not attacked, but like cuddled with. So he before I was like, oh, it's almost 7. Oh, it was like 6:30, something like that, and I'm like, I gotta eat dinner or something now, and he's just sleeping in my arms, like on his back, like flapped over, and I'm like,
Aw.
I do not want to move you. I've got to turn the oven on, and I really don't want to move you, but I have to. Like, just a little bit longer. Just like, I'm hungry. And he's not moving. He's being so cute. And then I'm still hungry, and I gotta get ready for the show soon. I feel so bad when I've got to move him.
The struggle is real. I
It
went to a house yesterday and they had a part ragdoll cat
Mm-hmm.
named Murphy. He's this poofy white and gray big cat, and he And I put my hand down, and he walked right up to me, and he licked my hand. So I started petting him, and my client was just like, "He really doesn't take to strangers. That's odd." And I was like, "Cat person," Started petting, and then he rolled over onto his back, and I was like, "Do you
Ooh.
like your belly rubbed?" And I just started rubbing his belly, and he was stretched out. She was like, "Yeah, he loves just getting just," and I was like, "I could tell."
Yeah.
So it was
Your
cool.
internet's been kind of flaky tonight, just to warn you.
Okay.
You,
Yeah, it shows green now. A couple of times it showed like red and yellow, and I was trying to like, I'm not doing anything else.
yeah, just to let you know, like there's a couple points in the recording where you get a little digitally, and your video stopped a lot more than it did tonight.
Okay.
It got really it just got bad in like the post show stuff, but just so you know, it's been
Okay.
up and down in case your modem has been having issues.
Well, I'll try and see what else it might be.
Yeah, just to let you know.
Not really doing anything. But yeah, thanks for letting me know though, because
Mm-hmm.
that way I can try and see maybe there's anything. Maybe just reset the router or something right beforehand to
Yep,
kind of
yep. I mean,
clear
every
it up.
time there's always a couple of like, like your word will drop out and then a couple of just like come together. It's like, every 15, 20 minutes or so that it will happen.
Okay.
But it just got really kind of bad just in that when you're talking about the cat, it got pretty bad. And then we
Yeah.
lost your video for a minute.
Okay.
And then so in case there was something going on at that particular moment, I just wanted you to be aware.
Not that I'm aware of. That's
You're not
weird.
seeing any interruption on my end, which means it's got to be you.
Yeah. Oh, I saw one. There was one. Where was it? Oh no, it was right at the first line of the outro.
Okay.
Your first part of it, and I was like, oh, if it comes back because I need to know when to talk next,
Yeah,
and it did.
yeah.
So
That's weird. That's
yeah.
weird. All right. Well, they're going to let Marconin get some rest, and I'm going to do the same, stretch out a little bit, and start winding down for the night. It's been a long week, and I am happy for the weekend coming. So thank you,
Indeed.
chat room, for being with us tonight. We'll love you guys so much, and we're on the final stretch. There's 4 more to go. Just 4 more.
Send in those questions if you got them, folks. It's now
Absolutely.
or never.
Absolutely. It's now or never. So we will see you next Thursday. And if you've got a question, please send it. If not, we'll make something up, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, we will. Have a wonderful week, folks. Thank you so much for watching and listening in. Okay. /moo, guys. Take care.